What's up, everybody? Welcome to the channel. I wanted to do this video in association with the new promo that's coming out, Dreamchasers. Yes, there are some awesome players, and yes, the content has been incredible from EA Sports, but every single promo EA Sports does this, and I can't understand why. They will release a player or multiple players that have recently been in evolutions that they know a large number of the player base is using in their squads and put a lot of time and effort into completing. And then they'll release those players anyway in either slightly better versions or sometimes worse versions. So in this case, Waneri, right? This Waneri is 89 overall. He does have, I believe, 99 passing for this card. But if you remember the Future Stars Evolution, they did this huge promo within the release of the regular players where you chose a young up-and-coming star that was lower rated, and then you do this kind of build-a-bear, if you will, technique of building up a player. You're choosing the playstyles and playstyle pluses, doing all these different upgrades, and it was awesome. I thought it was a great idea. I had a blast building up my Waneri, and I still use him. He's now coming off the bench, but arguably could be a starter still. And outside of the 99 passing for this 89 overall, my Waneri is better. Now I have to look more into like the stats, the play styles and playstyle pluses, things like that. But I believe my Waneri is better. You can't just look at the overall, I understand, and say like, oh, well, the 91's better than the 89. Obviously, the 99 passing on this card's better. But either way, no matter which one's better, it isn't the point. I guess you could argue like if the evolution one was better, then EA Sports could say, well, if you chose that player and grinded them, you still have the better version. I could somewhat see that. But the main question is, why don't they just choose an entirely different player? And then it doesn't create any of this overlap, and it doesn't make players who feel like they just put all this time and effort into getting, this unique evolution done, doesn't make them feel like, it's pointless because the next promo EA Sports will just release that player anyways. Right? There's so many players out there. However, EA Sports does this every single time. So up to this point, I just have never been able to come to a good, conclusion as to why they do this. Like logically, it just doesn't make sense to me. Let me know in the comments if it makes any sense to you. But as far as I can see, it just pisses the player base off. And for future evolutions, it makes players less likely to even care about doing them, because if there's a player that's going to come in the next promo, then they can just purchase that player then, or save up the coins and get the player then, right? So that's my take on it. But some pretty good players in this promo as usual. Like I said, EA Sports has been killing it with content. I just think they still do some silly things like releasing players in these promos when there's so many players they could release that are similar to Evos that have recently been done, where they know players are already using some of these players in their teams. And part of the cool thing about evolutions is it creates this unique ability for you to have a player that many players don't have, because you put the work in to get that player. So then to release a player in a promo, and I think it even makes it worse when that player is better than the promo player. But either way, I just don't see how it's a good idea. So let me know in the comments again what you think, and keep grinding, keep having fun. See you on the next one. Peace.